As a leader, if you can become self-aware, not self-conscious, but self-aware, become aware of yourself. That is the one attribute that distinguishes the human being from all other forms of life on planet Earth, is the fact that we can be aware of ourselves. We can reflect on the way that we think, and we can change that kind of thinking if it doesn't serve us any longer. The fact that we can become self-aware, think about our own thinking, gives us this ability to grow and to change and to become. Sometimes we look at things, sometimes we look at ourselves, and what we see is not the complete picture. As a leader, you have to grow into becoming more aware of who you are as a person, because you are fundamentally the instrument of the leadership that you portray, that you express, that you live. You have to come closer to the reality of the greatness that is in you to express that leadership, to live that leadership. And as I said, it doesn't really matter what you look at. What matters more is how do you look at it. The way that we look at ourselves is more important than actually what we look at. Now the question I ask for you as a leader, how do you see yourself? Sometimes I do find a leader that doesn't have a clear picture of who he or she is. And what is often missing is not the weaknesses and the development areas, is missing the greatness in them. And I can guarantee you we've got a room full of people here that most probably miss often the greatness that is within you. That's why I ask you, leader, how do you see yourself? As someone making a contribution, as someone participating and engaging in sharing and making a difference? Or are you someone that is scared, controlled by fear, don't know the greatness in you, and then you will only operate from that level of not knowing the greatness within you? A very wise man said once, if you think of yourself as a loser, you're right. That's what you are. If you think of yourself as a winner, you're also right. Because in the end, what makes the difference is how you think. As a man think, so is he. The way that you think about yourself, the way that you're aware of yourself, determines fundamentally the way that you're going to act and lead. A leader is by definition one that has followers that willingly follow him or her. That's the purest definition of a leader. If people decide out of themselves to follow you, to walk behind you, to see what you do and to follow that, that is the purest definition of a leader. Not someone that only has the title of a leader, but someone that acts like a leader. And if you look at him, you'll see people walking behind him or her. In terms of self-awareness, how do we get there? And this is my advice. This act of leadership is very, very critically important for you and me to become the leaders that we need to be. Not just to look through our glasses, but sometimes to take them off and look at them and ask ourselves the question, is this the best way to look at this? Is this the best way to define and interpret what I'm looking at? And this is an act of self-awareness. Becoming aware of the glasses that you use to look at the world. Becoming aware of how you look at the world. And if that doesn't serve you the way that you look at the world, you and I have got the power and the potential to change the way we think. We are not genetically encoded just to think in one way. We can change our thinking.